Queer by Jenny Jones. The species. Until quite recently, the huia lived in the safety of New Zealand's North Island forests. The ancestors of the huia are thought to have lived in New Zealand for about 65 million years. Huia were wattlebirds. There were 3 species of wattlebirds found in New Zealand: the kokako, the saddleback, and the huia. The kokako, with its haunting song, is now a threatened species. The saddleback, with its dark cinnamon-coloured back or saddle, is also a threatened species. It is only found on small offshore islands. The huia is extinct. The huia was a large forest-dwelling bird. Males and females were about the same size, approximately the size of a magpie. It was also the largest of our 3 wattlebird species. Appearance. The huia was without doubt one of the most beautiful birds found in the New Zealand forest. The plumage of the adult male and female huia was almost identical. The feathers were glossy black, with shiny green on the upper surfaces, especially the head. The 12 tail feathers were very unusual. They had a 2-centimetre band of pure white across the tips. No other bird in New Zealand had white-tipped tail feathers like this. When they flew, the tail feathers spread open just like a fan. It was very easy to tell the male from the female by their beaks. Both were a whitish cream, but the shapes were very different. The male huia had a stout and slightly arched bill of about 6 centimetres in length. The female had a more slender and strongly curved bill that was about 8 to 10 centimetres long. Their legs were a dark bluish grey, and they had huge claws. Huia had a strong tail, and it was used as a prop when they were gripping onto branches while feeding or resting. Eating habits. Huia were diurnal, daytime feeders, and hunted for their food in the undergrowth and on the ground. The huia never left the shade of the forest, which it shared with other birds like pio, saddlebacks, parakeets, fantails, wrens, riflemen, kokako, hihi, and kererū. The huia ate invertebrates, feeding on large insects and, in particular, the larvae of wood-boring beetles and adult beetles. A pair of huia would normally feed together, but did not appear to help each other in the search for food. When feeding, the male gripped the tree trunk like a woodpecker does, with its legs forward and tail pushed hard onto the trunk. In this position, he could tear off rotting wood with his strong beak to get at the beetles and hoo-hoo grub larvae. The female could probe her much longer beak deep down into the decaying wood to reach hoo-hoo and other beetles. She would pull them out, hold them down with her foot, and tear off the hard parts. The insects would then be picked up, turned lengthwise in the beak, and swallowed whole. It was easy to see where Huia had been feeding in the decayed wood of big old forest trees. Other food consisted of fruits of the hino, pidgeot wood, pōkaka, and karamu. While feeding, the huia uttered a soft whistle. Huia moved quickly up and down through the forest trees, spreading out their tail feathers and throwing up their wings as they jumped along the ground or from tree to tree, much like the kōkako still does today. They were generally seen in pairs or in a party of 4 or more. The huia had an unusual resting position. It held its beak high up in the air, with one leg holding onto an upper branch and the other leg downwards. The tail was up, giving the bird an outward curving back.